Good day to my pre-calculus students. Ready na ba ta sa atong lesson today? Our lesson for today will talk about conic sections and circles. These are the competencies. At the end of this session, you are expected to illustrate types of conic sections, define a circle, and determine its standard form of equation. In this topic, a particular class of curves, which is called the conic sections, will be introduced. How each of these curves is obtained from the intersection of a cone and a plane will be illustrated. The first of their kind, circles, will also be discussed, and the other conic sections will be covered in the next topics. Okay, let us start. What is a conic sections? Conic sections, or simply conics, is a specific class of curves which oftentimes appear in nature, which have applications in many fields. How a conic section is formed? Okay, the first one is a circle is formed when a plane cuts the cone horizontally. The second one is ellipse. It is formed when the tilted plane intersects only one cone to form a bounded curve. Next is we have the parabola is formed when the plane intersects only one cone to form an unbounded curve. Okay, so ang ellipse, we have bounded, limited ra, no? Whereas ang parabola, we have here unlimited. Can open maning diri nga pikas side. Okay, next is hyperbola, when the plane, not necessarily vertical, intersects both cones, sa up and down, to form two unbounded curves. So, meaning ang hyperbola is mura ni siya og two parabolas in opposite direction, no? And then another situation is when the cones intersect the point of intersection of the two cones, the plane intersect there, ito pa ka na dihang dapita atong ikot, then we can form a point. Next is when the plane intersects the cone, anhap po dihang dapita, so be dire mo rin siya tangent ra, then pass through the point of intersection between the two cones, then you can form one line. And lastly, pass through the center na to the plane, cutting the two cones, either horizontal or, if either vertical or diagonally, then we can form two lines. Okay, so for this, we have activity sheet number 1, and you are going to perform it. And then, na diha gibutang ang mga instructions. Just follow, and then you submit it during the retrieval on September 27. Okay, so let us now proceed to how a circle is formed. Atong i-recall gamay, katong dito no, ganina. So, circle is formed by slicing a right circular cone with a plane traveling parallel to the base of the cone. So, kana, katong illustrate balik. Okay, the algebraic definition of a circle is a set of points in the plane that are equidistant from a fixed point called the center. So we have here the circle is illustrated. We have here the center with coordinates HK, and this point XY is on the circle. Okay. So we have here let us recall that the circle has a radius. Diba? Radius is the line segment connecting the center and any point in the circle. So it's given there that the center is at HK and the point is at XY. So to find the radius, the length of the radius, R, so since the radius is the length or the distance from the center to any point in the circle, then in order to do that, we are going to use the distance formula. So let us recall that to find the distance formula or distance between 2 points on a Cartesian plane, we have to use the formula d is equal to the square root of quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared equals y sub tan. Na nasabtan or y nasabtan? Okay, I do hope na nasabtan ha. So this formula is used when we are going to find the distance from one point to another point on a Cartesian plane. So since to find the radius, kay the same man nga process, mangita ta og distance from the center to any point in the circle. That's why we are going to use this formula, in which our x sub 1 is h, atong x sub 2 is x, and then k will be our y sub 1, and y will be our y sub 2. Because ngayon kang x sub 2 minus x sub 1, that's the difference between two abscissas. And then this one is the difference between two ordinates. Okay, so that's why replacing x sub 2 and y sub 2 with xy, and then x sub 1, y sub 1 with hk, so R could be solved by getting the square root of quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared. Okay, and since to simplify this formula or equation, we are going to eliminate the squared symbol by squaring both sides. So when you square a square root, matangtang ang square root and the squared. So that's why we are now simplifying r squared to r squared, and the right side becomes quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared. Okay, which represents now the equation of the circle, the standard form of equation. Okay, so wala na si Ja. Where HK represents the center and R is the radius which is greater than 0. So, di pwede nga ang imong R mahimong negative. Diba? What will happen to the circle when your R is negative? So, dili na nimo ma-drawing. But when R is 0, the circle is not a circle anymore because there is no radius. So, it becomes a point. So, kung negative becomes an empty set, meaning you cannot draw the graph of the equation. When R is 0, then it represents a point. So, motong point ra mo imong graph. Whereas when R is greater than 0, then it is a circle. Okay? So, when we simplify this further, quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared equals r squared. Simplifying this one using special product formula, the square of x is x squared. The product of x times negative h times 2 is the negative 2 xh plus h squared plus y squared. Then the product times 2 is negative 2yk or ky plus y squared equals, no, plus k squared. Equals r squared. So, kung ato ni i-arrange, we have x squared plus quantity y squared minus 2hx din na minus 2ky plus h squared plus k squared minus r squared equals 0. So, this will be the simplified standard form and mahimo na siya nga general equation of the circle, which can be summarized to ax squared plus ay squared plus cx plus by plus e equals 0, wherein a must not be equal to 0. So, in this case, the numerical coefficients of x squared and y squared represents a. So, meaning, it is a circle when the numerical coefficients of x squared and y squared are the same. 2h represents the c, represented by c, and the 2k will be represented by 2, and the square of h, the square of a, and the square of r is being represented by e. And dapat a must not be equal to. Okay. Is studying a circle important to us? Okay, yes, because it has many applications to real life. Okay, so meaning sa atong palibot, there are many circles. It has also application to socio-economic, no? Ang mga kanang statistics, gamit og pie charts. Application in geography. So, atong kalibutan nga itong gipuyaan, lingin. application to engineering, application in physical science, and many more. So are you ready to learn now? Okay, let us study together the given examples. We are going to write the equation of a circle centered at 3, -2, and having the diameter of 8 units. Okay, so let us recall the relationship between diameter and radius. Because when we write an equation, it is very important to have the center in the radius because atong formula, di ba? With quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So that means, para na ka equation, dapat na kay center in a radius. But since the given is in diameter, so from here, we are going to find the length of the radius. So the relationship between diameter and radius is, we have the radius is 1/2 of the diameter. So that's why we can say that the r here is 1/2 of 8, and that would be 4. So replacing now the h, the k, and the r, so we can now have quantity x minus 3 squared plus quantity y minus the negative of 2 squared equals 4 squared. Simplifying this one and this one, the equation would now be quantity x minus 3 squared plus quantity y plus 2 squared equals 16. So simplifying the negative of negative 2 becomes positive 2, and that would be equal to 16. Okay, so that's the standard form of equation of the given circle. Next is to describe a quantity x minus 2 squared plus quantity y plus 1 squared equals 0. So notice that the right side here for r squared is 0. So that means your r is 0. So since the r is 0, then the given is not a circle, but it is a point at your h there is 2 and your y is -1. Diba? Kay diri bitaw sa x minus 3, ang imong h kay positive 3 ba siya? And then diri po sa plus 2 diri, ang original ni mga k is negative. Kay moments of formula. Okay? Okay, we have described quantity x plus 1 squared plus quantity y minus 3 squared equals -1. So in this case, we have a -1 of r squared. So your r squared is -1. So as I have said a while ago, it's not a circle nor a point, but it is an empty set without a graph. Okay. Next is number 4. We are going to write the equation of a circle centered at -3, -4, and tangent to the line x equals 2. So in this case, our h here is -3, and our k is -2, and we are trying and we have also the tangent line of x equals 2. So if we are going to illustrate the graph of this circle, we have here -3 and -4. So this is the center of the circle. It's in quadrant 3 because the coordinates of your center are both negatives. So we have 1, 2. This is x equals 2. Ang katapihog, no? Okay. So meaning this is the point where the circle is touching, no? Tangent na diha, tangent ang circle. So kana. So in order to find the radius, we are going to use the formula, distance formula R is equal to the absolute value x sub 1 minus x sub 2, or x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Nganong dili man kadtong usa ka formula atong gamitan because the circle and the point tangency are collinear, meaning they have the same y coordinates, di ba? So in-subtract nimo sa imong duha ka y dire o y dire, mo zero naman to, so mo nang no need. But kung tangent sa other area, other point na dili collinear sila in horizontal ug vertical, sa pa dili magkapareha ang ilang duha ka x o ang ilang x o y, so dili kanimo imong gamiton nga formula katong gigamit nga formula pagkuha na to sa equation of a circle. Okay, so in this case we have our coordinates na x coordinate na -3 minus 2. And since they have two same signs, so therefore we can add them together and the answer is -5. So the absolute value of -5 is +5. Okay, so we have now center of, the center is at -3, -4, and our R is 5. So that's why in writing the equation, we have x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared equals r squared. So replacing the h, we have x minus the -3 squared plus quantity y minus the -4 squared equals 5 squared. So simplifying this one, it would become quantity x plus 3 squared plus quantity y plus 4 squared equals 25. Okay, simplifying this, we now have the square of x is x squared. The product of x times 3 is 3x times 2 is 6x. And the square of 3 is 9. Plus, simplifying this one using the special product formula, we have y squared plus 4 times y is 4y times 2 is 8y plus the square of 4 is 16. Then, making the right side of the equation be 0, so we are going to add -25 to both sides. That's why we have 16 minus 25 is equal to 0. Okay, so that's why arranging the terms, we have x squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 8y. 9 plus 16 is 25. Diba? 25 minus 25 is equal to 0. So therefore, the final equation would be x squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 8y is equal to 0. So this will be our equation, the general equation of the given situation of a circle. Okay. Next is we are going to write the equation of the circle centered at 1, -3 and passing through -3, 5. Okay. So in this situation, it's different from number 4 because in number 4, we are given the tangent line. Whereas in number 5, we are given the point where the circle is passing through. So if this is the Cartesian plane, we have the center 1, -3 is in quadrant 4. So 1, 1, 2, 3. So this is where the center of the circle is. And passing through -3, -5. So it is also in, no, 1, 2, 3. This is -3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it is in quadrant 2. Okay, so meaning the circle is passing through here. Okay, so actually, mas maadyo o magamit tao compass. But since listen, kumpas dere. So, imagining na lamang tahan na perfect ni nga whole circle. So this is the radius. So we are going to find the distance from this point, the point where the circle is passing through, and the center. So the formula of getting the radius is katong usa ka formula tungod kay ang x na to ug y here, y nagkapareha. So ang kuhaon is the square root of quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared equals y na sub 10. Okay. So, bisag asa nila imong kuhaan ha, as long as asa ka nagkuha sa imong first, maupod ka makuha sa imong second. Second ka, quantity. Okay, so therefore, r is equal to the square root of 1 minus the -3 squared. So, kaniha 1 minus -3 plus quantity -3 minus 5. One timing na ba na ha? So, kaning 1 minus -3, then 3, -3 minus 5. Okay? So, this would be equal to the square root of quantity 1 plus 3 squared plus -3 minus 5 is -8 squared, which is the same as 1 plus 3 is 4 squared plus -8 squared is 16. No, It's 16 and on 64. Okay, 4 squared is equivalent to 16 plus 64. That's why our R is the square root of 80, in which R squared is 80. Okay? Papatanahuman. Okay, so our center is 1, -3, and our R squared is 80. So that's why from the equation na quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared equals r squared, mahimo na ning quantity x minus 1 squared plus quantity y minus the negative of 3 squared equals 80. So can simplifying this one, we now have x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus quantity y plus 3 squared equals 80. So simplifying further, this would be y squared plus 6y plus 9 minus 80 equals 0. Arranging and combining similar terms, we have x squared minus 2x. No, arrange turn na ka. Okay, we have x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 6y, and then 1 plus 9 minus 80, that would be equal to -70 equals 0. Okay, so therefore, the answer for number 5 is x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 6y minus 70 equals 0. Okay, please correct ito. May clerical error sa katang-hatag na learning module. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is we are going to write the equation of a circle whose diameter is the line segment joining A -3, -4, and B 4, 3. Okay, so in this situation, we are not given the center and the radius. So taas-taas nitong pangitaon, okay, we need to find for the center. Then after getting the center, usa pa ta mangita sa radius. Okay, so if we are going to illustrate the situation, mo ni siya ang imong Cartesian plane. We have -3, -4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is, here is your point A. Then ang imong point B nasa quadrant 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Open na imong point B. Okay? So karon mangita ta sa center. So na din hinda gusto nga nila, but lisod man tao padabana ang panahon na kay dili perfectly divided atong x-axis o y-axis. So manang y-axis o x-axis, mauna we need to solve the center by using the midpoint formula. Nandun pa ba? So the center can be done by getting the average of x sub 1 and x sub 2. Ato pi plus nimong x sub 1 ug x sub 2 divide og 2, then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divide og 2 para makita nimo ang tunga sa x ug tunga sa y. Okay, so from here we have our first x is -3. So -3 plus the second x nimo is 4. So -3 plus 4 over 2, and we have -4 plus 3 over 2. So simplifying further, your center now is that -3 plus 4 is 1/2, and -4 plus 3 is -1/2. So that is why your center is at center is at 1/2, -1/2. And since we are going to find the radius, we have to use either any of the point. By the way, we have 1/2 x -1/2 na y na adunhe ang imong center. Okay, so to find the radius, you can use any of the two endpoints. So pwedeng C to A mong solvon or C to B. So ang naadiha sa atong kuan is ginamit ang -3, -4, meaning kanima itong i-solve kana. No. Sige, mo gamit ta og retahitan ni C to B atong tan-aw of the same raba. So if we are going to find the radius using C to B, or the center to point B, we have point B is 4, 3. Okay, so your R would be the square root of 4 minus 1/2 squared plus quantity 3 minus 1/2, that would be plus 1/2 squared. So it would be equal to the square root of alpha D. So we have 8. 8 no, kay 2 divided by 1 is 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 divided by 2 is 1 times -1 is -1. And then squared plus alpha D here is also 2 divided by 1 times 3 is 6, plus 2 divided by 2 is 1 times 1 is 1. So it would be equal to the square root of 8 minus 1 is 7. 7/2 squared plus 7/2 squared. And this would be equal to the square root of 49 over 4 plus 49 over 4, which is equivalent to the square root of 98 over 4. Or that would be equal to extracting the square root of this. We have square root of 49 or 7. 49 manino, 49 times 2, that would be 7 over 2 square root of 2. Okay, so natay wrong din ha sa atong r squared. Okay, i-correct ha, kaya atong r squared dapat is 98 over 4. Okay, ano yung wrong? So that means kaya atong r, di ba kay atong r kay square root of 98 over 4 ba dya? So therefore, it would imply that our r squared is equal to 98 over 4. Dili 49. Ha? Check. Okay? So, simplifying, itong i-substitute, it would be x minus 1/2 squared plus quantity y plus 1/2 squared is equal to 98 over 4. So, please correct na po ng atong answer diha sa inyong na inyong activity sheets. You change 49 over 2 to 98 over 4. Okay? Sige. Let's proceed to number 7. Write in center radius form and sketch the graph of x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 4y minus 12 equals 0. Okay? So what we're going to do is we have to use completing the squares. X squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 4y minus 12 is equal to 0. So to complete the squares, we are going to combine atong itapad-tapad na yung mga terms with the same variable. So x squared together nimo with 6x, then y squared join together with negative 4y, and then this constant term ato ning himuong 0 sa left side. That's why we are going to add both sides with positive 12. So inig-ada ni natong positive 12 here, it will become 0, and the right side becomes 0 plus 12 is 12. So after that, we need to complete the square now. So copy down x squared plus 6x. Then what we're going to do is this numerical coefficient of x will be divided by 2, or i-multiply nimo 1/2. So 1/2 times 6 is 3, and the number 3, the answer would be squared it. So imong square, and then 3 squared is 9. So 9 i-add diha. Then for here, we're going to copy y squared minus 4y. Then negative 4 is going to multiply to negative 4 will be multiplied to the 1/2. So negative 4 times 1/2 negative 2, and the square of negative 2 is positive 4 equals 12. Copy 12, and since we are adding 9 and 4 in the left side, so we need to add also 9 plus 4 in the right side. Okay, then this is now can be factored as quantity x plus 3 squared, and this one also can be factored as y minus 2 squared equals 12 plus 9 plus 4 is equal to 25. So from here, we can get now the coordinates of your center or the HK. So the H would be negative 3, and the Y would be, or the K would be positive 2. And the radius is the square root of 25, and that would be equal to 5. Okay, so that's why when we draw or sketch the graph, so kay mao na atong center, negative 3, 2, and your R is 5 units. So we have here negative 3, 2 is here. So this is, oh, you know what? This is negative 3, 2 is here, and then ibutang, then count tag 5 units to either there is a right, sa left, upward, or downward from the center. So from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can sa center, step kag usa. Ha? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is why it is 5 units. Okay. We have last example. We are going to write an equation of the rim of the blade guard of an electric fan if the diameter formed by the blades upon rotating is 16 inches and the distance from the tip of the blade to the rim is 1 inch. So, silbi ang katong blade guard, kanang bakal silbi sa electric fan. Ang equation anong bakal. So, we are given nga ang when the blade of the electric fan rotates or ang blades mo rotate, so makahimo ko na siya og circle with 16 inches ang diameter. So meaning, kung diameter is 16, that would be R is 8, no? And then 8 ang imong R from here to here. Unya 1 inch man kuno ang gikan sa rim padong dito sa tip. So meaning, mahitabo plus 1 imong radius. No? Ani? Okay? So that is why the equation would be, kay nang taga-tagai og center, so atong gi-assume nga ang center na to is at the origin or 0, 0. So that's why x minus 0 squared is x squared plus quantity y minus 0 squared is equal to y squared equals 9 squared. So therefore, our equation of the rim of the blade guard of an electric fan is x squared plus y squared equals 81. Okay, so did you learn something today? Okay, what's more? Okay, what's more is you are going to answer the 2 activity sheets 1 and 2. You performed it, and then your output will be done on a sheets of long bond papers. And then for your assessment, you are going to use the answer sheet provided, kanang shading. Okay, you can use any writing pen pag-answer ana. And then kung masadyok man gani adyo gamiti og liquid eraser, just cross it para di madaot ang printer. Okay, so the deadline for all the activities in this lesson would be September 27, 2021. Hopefully makasubmit tanan because na ay 2 points na difference if ever di ma-submitted on time. Diba nasa activity sheet na dito ang atong rubrics for checking or scoring your activity. Okay, so this is my quotation for this topic, that if you love someone, put their name in a circle, not a heart. Why? Because a heart can be broken, but a circle goes on forever. Okay, thank you for listening, and see you for the next lesson. Bye-bye.